Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is my hospitality supervision training presentation. It's effective training and demo role play. Today I will be training you on how to prepare and use a three-compartment sink. What is a three-compartment sink? Three sinks used to clean and sanitize items used in the kitchen that are reused. An outline of my presentation. First, I will give an introduction of what a three-compartment sink is and what it's used for. Then I will preview the training. And then I will show you a video that I prepared on how to prepare and use a three-compartment sink. And then I will summarize the training. And then we'll move on to the trainee sink setup, use, and sign-off sheet. What is a three-compartment sink? It is three sinks used to clean and sanitize items in the kitchen. The left sink is your detergent sink. That is degreasers to get items off of plates, silverware, any items need to be cleaned. After they are cleaned, they are put into the center sink. What is the rinse sink? There, you rinse all the detergent off. Some places will use a spray wash station there that is very wasteful of water. After you rinse all the detergent off, it goes into the right sink, which is your sanitation sink. That sink requires a period of time it needs to be in the liquid in order to sanitize and clean anything or any germs that are on the items being cleaned. After that said time, they are removed and then dried. Here is my training preview. Step 1. Scrape all items before washing. First, you want to scrape all the items off into the disposal or into a garbage. The less items that make it into the sink, the less often you will have to change the water, saving water and time. So you want to scrub as much of this stuff off or use a spray station to spray it off. After that, you wash the items in the detergent sink. You scrub them good with a scuzz pad, a scuzz brush, or some sort of wash rag or towel. You want to get all the items off at this point. Everything should appear very clean at that point. Step 3, you rinse the items in the rinse sink. You dip them in there, getting all the detergent off. As I mentioned before, some places will have a rinse sink where they constantly spray to rinse everything off. That is nice, however, it does waste a lot of water and can be very cost ineffective. After you rinse all the detergent off, you dip them in the sanitizing sink, and that has to stay there for a period of time depending on the manufacturer's recommendations on the product of the sanitizer. Once they've soaked for the period of time required, items need to be air dried, so you stack them. They get air dried on a clean and sanitized surface. You never want to use a wash rag. That just spreads germs around. That's not a good way to do it. You want air dry on a clean surface. Next, I will show you the presentation that I made on how to first set up a three-compartment sink and then how to use it.
Now I will demonstrate to you how to properly prepare and use a three-compartment sink. The first thing you want to do is scrub and sanitize all three compartments of your sink, which I have done ahead of time. In this case, I do not have a three-compartment sink, so I'm staging this as my middle sink. You want to fill the first sink with hot water at least 110 degrees Fahrenheit and detergent, or follow the manufacturer's directions for that particular detergent. Second, you want to fill the middle sink with clean water. Thirdly, you fill the third sink with water and sanitizer. The water must be at least a temperature required for the sanitizer, or you can use hot water at least above 171 degrees Fahrenheit. Some options for sanitizers are chlorine, iodine, and quartz. Depending on the sanitizer, it will need a soak time. An example for the chlorine is the water needs to be above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and items will need to be soaked in that water for at least 7 seconds. Now I will demonstrate to you how to properly use a three-compartment sink. Here I have my simulated dirty dish. First, you'd want to scrape off any items into the garbage or the disposal. Some people have a spray station here, another compartment to the left, to clean that all off. Once you have all those items off, or majority of it as much as you can, you will place it in your detergent sink and scrub it good, getting any remaining items off the dish. At this point, once it is clean, you want to rinse all of the detergent and items, or all the detergent off of the plate. So you will dip it in your rinse sink, which I don't have here, so I'm gonna spray rinse here. Some people will spray rinse all of their dishes in between in the middle sink rather than using a dip sink, but it is highly wasteful on water. Once you have rinsed all the detergent off, you will put it in to your sanitation sink. Now it's chlorine. I will have a clock nearby where I can watch a second hand to determine my 7 seconds of soak time. I like to go over a little bit. Usually I'm watching multiple things at a time anyway, so they're going in there. Try to remember the order I put them in so I can cycle them out properly. After you do your proper 7 seconds, you pull the dish out. Ideally, somebody with a glove will place this on a rack and let it dry. Once it's all dry, they will be stacked and reused into the service. And that is how to properly prepare and use a 3-compartment sink. And
For a summary of the training that I just gave, step 1, you want to scrape items before washing into the disposal or garbage. The more items you get off ahead of time, the less dirty the sinks will get in the end, and the less often you will have to change the water out in them. After this is done, wash the items in the detergent sink well, cleaning every item, anything on them at all, grease, grime, foodstuffs. Once that's all nice and clean, you want to dip them in the rinse sink to rinse all the detergent off. Then you put them in the sanitizing sink. The example I used was a chlorine sanitization. That had to sit in there for 7 seconds, and the water had to be over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. After that 7 seconds, you pull it out of there. You want the items to air dry on a clean and sanitized surface. You never want to use wash rags or towels. That will only spread germs more. That concludes the training on how to set up and use a 3-compartment sink. Now I want to discuss the trainee sink setup, use, and sign-off sheet. This is a sheet attached with this video that will require you to meet with one of your trainers and demonstrate how to set up a 3-compartment sink and then how to use a 3-compartment sink. Once you have done this in front of a trainer, they will sign you off and you will be good to go on our sanitation skills for washing items in the kitchen. I hope all of this information has been very educational and stuff you can take forward in your job field. I also want to remind you that this is stuff we're going to do every day. So following these simple rules will easily make things safer for everybody, both the customers and the employees. If you have any further questions on what needs to be done or any questions about how to set up and use a 3-compartment sink, please email me and I will answer back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. This is where I found the information for this presentation. And I want to thank you. I hope you all enjoyed it and it was very educational. Have a nice day.